Welcome to the CWC Podcast with your host, David Selby, Justin Reed, and Andy Horton.
Hello. Did you know they were coming?
I had no idea they were coming.
Danny Newland's here.
Well, look who it is.
Look who's here.
Just starting the show,
Danny
and our special
Newland.
guest,
Our special guest
has
for the
arrived.
CHUCKWAGON Channel.
We got it going. Come on in.
You gotta say hi to everybody.
This is the voice of the wagon races right here, Danny Newland.
Hey man, what's going on?
Awesome. How you doing?
Good. I'm
Couldn't
good.
couldn't start the show any better than to have you show up. We're gonna drag you right into this thing. You gotta pull up a chair there.
Sure.
I would say don't even worry about the headphones unless you want to put them on. But that mic's gonna pick you up real good. You've seen a microphone before, I think.
That'd be great.
That'll pick you up just fine. And I guess you're talking to him sideways, according.
Yeah, you don't talk into the top of it. You talk into the little
Go forward.
Yeah.
So they're closing it too for employees. That's what the
That's what it says.
yeah.
Yeah, so welcome in. We just got started, so the timing was perfect. Danny, I know you guys had a little bit of a trip today. Had
In a Little Rock.
got an appointment. Assume everything went well.
Root canal
Yep, root canal. Not for you though, but for
for my wife,
yep, which is
which didn't work because the tooth cracked and
Oh,
root canal's
man.
out.
Oh no.
Just gets worse.
okay. Well, guess we'll go back sometime. Well, welcome everybody. We're here with the CWC podcast. It's our Christmas edition of the show. We're here at the Hogs and Heifers Sports Bar in downtown Clinton, Arkansas, of all places. It's just a beautiful little downtown area, and it's just getting better and better when things like this pop up. A couple of Clinton citizens here. So what's it been like having the new sports bar down here?
It's been great.
I love
great.
it. Yeah. Spend a little bit too much time here maybe, but no, it's really handy, especially after ball games. Football season was great. They'd always play the home games on the TVs. They did some NFR watch parties, which were fun. So it's nice to have something to do.
Yeah, and here you can watch all of the games, the home games, the away games, the international games,
NFR's on TV. right there.
NFR, yeah, all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're a movie person, every 7th or 8th television has a movie. I'm seeing like some Spider-Man. I'm seeing
Yeah.
a couple of good classics on the television right now. 44 televisions, they tell me, inside,
a lot.
and then another 7 or 8 of them outside on the patio. So this place is built for the TV watcher, and if you like food or drinks and/or this is a place to go. I got to come down here during the national championships and was treated really well by Dave Harp and Tanya. They did a fantastic job serving us, and they really care a lot about getting this thing off the ground. I think it's working. It sounds like everybody's happy
Great
with it.
place. Great.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love a good sports bar, so that's why I was like, we have to have the podcast here. Sorry. Well, anyways, real quick, just wanted to kind of take a minute and make sure that everybody that has not, go over to the CHUCKWAGON channel, check it out, look at the content, subscribe, and relive the ride at chuckwagonchannel.com. It's $11 a month, or it's $99 a year. Makes for a great stocking stuffer if you can jump on there. Look at the link below in the description of this video, and there's actually a link to a gift card if you like doing gift cards for people. It's a great last-second thing to do. So check that out, chuckwagonchannel.com. So Danny, we've got here today, I want to talk to you just a little bit about this year at the National Championships. We've got 2 people that work behind the scenes all the time at these races, and I just think it's really fun to pull back the veil a little bit and get an idea of what's going on behind the scenes. So we've asked Dapple a lot of questions about this, and I guess we'll see if it lines up, if the responses align. But what's it like
No
as
pressure.
when you guys are kind of preparing in the days leading up to an event like that, at that caliber, what's the preparation like? You know, what are you doing to prepare?
Well, I tell you what, it's more laid back and it's more relaxed than what you might think. I mean, there's a lot going on down there, but everybody there has been doing it so long. I mean, it's just like everybody's in the same canoe and they're paddling the same way.
Yeah.
You know, we're running on 4 wheels and none of them are square.
Which is a good thing.
That's a great thing.
Yeah, none of them are square.
I'm not telling you that there's not a lot of pressure, there's not a lot going on, because there is, but everybody's just, I mean, where we're at down there, you never see anybody that there's yelling. Nobody ever raises their voice, and I'm serious about that. From the time it starts to the time it's over, and there's some times where I'm sure everybody wants to yell and pull their hair, but it's just a laid back. Everybody knows their job. Everybody does it. Nobody spills over on anybody else, and it's just a great atmosphere.
Yeah, I don't feel like I ever see anybody really being hard on anyone. Honestly, I feel like everybody's just harder on themselves because everybody wants to do so well at the event.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's like that's a rare thing, I don't know what the recipe is to do that. I guess you look at what Dan Eoff has done, but every time I've ever interacted with him or Peggy or Dapple, I've never had a hard criticism ever. It's always been like, I just want to do well. You know?
And you brought up a good point there. I mean, everyone else is so talented at what they do that, when you get to feeling like you're the lowest rung on the ladder.
Like you're doing the least.
You got to step. You're doing the least.
Yeah,
Look at these other people. Look at Dan and Peggy, what they're doing.
Look at what they're doing, or look what she's doing. Look what they're doing at the arena. There's stuff that goes on at the arena that people ask me about, and I'm like, I don't know. I have to call Marcus Ulrich. I have no idea what he's doing over there. As far as it goes.
Man, how to replicate that.
You don't want to be the short. You don't want to be the short straw.
Right.
Or if you are, you don't want anybody else to know.
You don't want anybody to know it.
Well, it's a big ranch. You can hide.
It is, yeah, sometimes. Sometimes.
So once the races start and things are rolling, it's a well-oiled machine. It's been running for years and years. It's got a couple miles on it. When something does happen, let's say there's a spill on the track. What's going on behind the scenes when something does go awry?
A lot of communication behind the scenes. We radio a lot to each other, and it's kind of their job to get it to us so we can get it to Danny, just so that we make sure we're taking care of everything efficiently. Also, updates from the bottoms about the animals and the people involved. It's really important for us to get that information out to everybody that's listening. So just getting it from the bottoms, as you said, it's a big ranch, a lot going on. Getting it up so that Danny can let everybody know is probably the most important thing that I'm a part of. I'm up there on the rock. It's pretty comfortable up there when stuff like that's going on.
Yeah. Well, it seems like it goes so smooth. I mean, us, we're all running cameras and drones and stuff, and like,
Right.
if we see something bad about to happen, we zoom in on it. We're going to make sure that we get it captured.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, you have to act real time. You have to, you kind of have to cover up what's happening or deal with what's happening right then and there. And I've always been impressed by how you handle that, Danny, specifically on the mic. Is there, like 2 cents you could give someone who's in the broadcasting industry whenever something comes up like that? How do you respond, to an ugly situation?
Well, I mean, I think the first thing you have to be honest and be upfront.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't dodge the bullet. If somebody's hurt, they're hurt. If an animal's hurt, we got an animal ambulance, and we're going to get there as quick as we can. We got a veterinary, and the clinic is there that entire week. So, I mean, you got to be honest with people, and you can't get too emotional about it. I mean, you've got to hold the line and just be upfront, be relaxed, and tell them what's going on, and then just go run with it.
Yeah, man, that's a good one. You said don't get emotional about it. That's so true. That's so true. That very easy to get swept away by a moment, especially because you're already so excited when you're out there, whether it's a joke or something that's sad or whatever. You're like more emotionally vulnerable when you're at the wagon races already. So, it's even just more kudos to you for how you handle the crowd so well all the time. And it was cool to hear the other guys that have announced and still announce there at the races talk about how you conduct yourself. They've had a lot of good things to say. Well, before we get any further on the races, what's it like around here during the holidays for you guys? Any traditions in the Clinton area that you guys have partaken in, maybe even with your own families?
Well, we have a Christmas in Clinton event that my family actually hosts. We do a trade show and fundraiser for our, it's called the Bright Futures program at our school. They bridge the gap with nutrition for children who might not be getting enough at home. So we do a lot of money for the backpack program, and we have a big trade show, and Santa comes, and we have carriage rides, and it's kind of a mini cowboy Christmas that we do at the store. That's always a big thing. And then the city has started doing a little trade show downtown and kind of doing it on into the evening hours to kind of bridge the gap so that you can spend the entire day in Clinton.
Yeah.
That's a fun one. We also have the live nativity that our church does. Jill and Paul Rhoda started it many, many years ago. And they use real animals, camels, sheep, kids in the community, and they come.
A real birth.
Yes. Well, no.
No. Oh,
But
no.
we do have a real baby.
Okay.
We do have a real
All right.
But anyways, that's a really fun thing for the kids to be a part of, and they do it for a week, 2 shows a night at the fairgrounds. That's a really fun tradition that we've all been a part of for a long time in the community.
Seems like you guys have a very tight town.
We do, yes. Yes, Clinton is a very tight-knit community.
Yeah. Good place to be right now, it seems like.
It is.
In the 16 years that I've been coming down here for races and visiting you guys for DVD deliveries and such, it seems like I have seen it. I mean, it's visibly transformed. It looks better and better, and then, this is just another testament to that, a place like this opening up on the square.
Yeah.
I never would have had a reason to go into the downtown area of Clinton until now, so it's pretty neat to see what's happening. Not to mention just what the town does for the catfish dinner and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
So, on the subject of Christmas, I mean, this is our Christmas episode. I love talking about Christmas personally. Go back in time. I want all of us to answer this question, but what was Christmas to you when you were a kid, when you were a child? What do you remember Christmas being like? I think it's a super interesting thing. I'll elaborate on that as we go here. But, Danny, let's start with you.
Well, it was a lot simpler. Back about, 56, 57, 58 when I was.
You guys actually
when I
put
was in
candles on the
Santa
trees, didn't you?
Claus
You had candles on your trees, right?
there, yeah. But I mean, like, our gifts were, we get a box of 410 shells, a box of 22 shells, maybe a bat and a baseball or something. I mean, it was simple. It's not simple now.
Right.
It's simple for me, but it's not simple for Kathy and all the women to do the leg work and get the whole thing put together. But it was simple for me.
Yeah, I wonder if that's just relative to everybody. They just felt like that's the memory we all have of childhood at Christmas, But it does, hey, going back, we talked about, best Christmas movies last week, and we all agreed on the show at least that A Christmas Story, the one where the kid gets the Red Ryder BB gun, we all agreed that we didn't like it. We were on the same page that we were like, that's not a true Christmas movie because, well, for a lot of reasons, but you just said you would get an actual shotgun or a real gun. That kid got a Red Ryder, so that's not realistic anyways, right? So a kid wants a real gun. So
Oh, my gosh.
I'm just, that just went off in my head because we were talking about best Christmas movies, but no, that's cool. So tradition wise, Dapple, for you, what was Christmas time for you as a youth?
Family. When my grandparents were all still here, we had a lot more to do, and I feel like we were a lot, honestly, busier on Christmas than we are now because we had to hit my mom's mom, my dad's mom, and we had a little bit bigger of a family get together than we do now. That my grandparents are gone, but I can remember one year that Santa was always really big at our house, and that was the kind of the big thing that we always got at our house. It was exciting, and one year Santa brought my mom a moose head, and I think he threw it through the living room windows.
What?
Like actual Santa threw it through the window.
The moose head through the windows, shattered the windows. We, woke up to a big broken window in the house, and so it was always something. I feel like I don't know why I asked.
Wait, so that's just how you remember it, but you're not really sure what happened?
I think Santa.
Like you had broken
moose.
Glass on the floor from a moose head?
Yes, a big moose head. Santa somehow got fumbling around and accidentally put the moose head through my mom's living room windows.
Incredible.
And I got a pony, and my brother got a go-kart, and the pony ran off. And my brother wrecked the go-kart in like 2 days.
Wow.
So it was a lot of chaos. I don't know. We didn't make good decisions when I was a kid.
We have to follow that. I'm like, what?
It was just, I mean, that's the stuff I remember when I was a kid from Christmas. It was always chaos.
That is
man.
awesome.
It was awesome, but
Yeah,
I don't guess ours were as simple.
I'm gonna have to ask. I'm gonna have to ask your folks about the
Ask
moose.
my
I think.
mom
I'm
about her
curious.
broken window. Yeah, you'll have to ask her. Sorry,
gonna
can you
move
not
this
hear
down.
me? Oh, you can't see me.
Just want to
Perfect.
see
Oh my goodness.
see a little bit more Dapple.
I got yelled at that right there
little
one
better.
time. So just saying. Man, I can't talk
Danny,
today.
You want a drink?
Boy, yeah. I see Dapple's got a beer, and I
I
don't.
do.
Yeah.
I do. Well, that's apple juice,
Yeah.
Danny.
Right. Yeah.
Apple juice would be good.
Yeah, he would like an apple juice. Same kind I got.
Savannah, do you think you could track him down?
No, Nate, don't worry.
No,
about
we're
that.
gonna
It's-
Oh no,
we're gonna
he's
get you,
there.
man.
Yeah.
Hey, also, thank you, Savannah. You're gonna get here's Savannah's cameo. Make sure you wave as you go by. Savannah's here today. What do you want?
Michelob Ultra.
Mick Ultra?
How'd you know that?
I just know. I
That-
know stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, spend a little time together,
Just a little.
at least a week a year
Yes.
or so. So I guess I'll just keep going down the line here. Whenever I was growing up, we had like a Christmas tradition that was that we would read a book called The Christmas Miracle of Jonathan Toomey, and it's like one of those storybooks that's just like really like the whole thing is the illustrations are just so captivating, and so we would read that and we'd pass it around, so we'd all be like reading a page, show the illustration, turn it and pass to the next person, which quickly evolved into like all of us doing like voices and things like that, to where we all thought we were hilarious. And then we would open a present before we'd go to bed. Then we'd get up as early as we could. It was always dark. I always remember being dark when we opened Christmas presents in the morning. And then yeah, we'd just be home enjoying Christmas. And I guess we'd also do the candlelight service at church. We would do that a lot too. You guys ever?
Yeah,
is
we
there
would
Christmas Eve?
We would have candlelight service at church.
Yeah, Christmas Eve service. Like we would do that a lot too. So.
you.
And then now I own a copy of that book, so that's like a tradition that I carry on. I think traditions are a really powerful thing. Andy, what was Christmas like for you when you were a kid?
I can relate to Dapple a lot because it was all family. We had a big family. I've got my dad's one of 6,
Oh.
and so it was usually a really big get together. And like you said, when that glue to the family, when you lose that, it changes things forever. And
It does.
so it's kind of gone that way for us. We don't have the same big get-togethers that we used to have. It's most of the time these days it's just me and Dad, and usually we'll go over to we've got a friend that invites us over pretty much every year, and
Yeah.
we go over and hang out with them. It's still a good time. It's not like it used to be, but it's still pretty cool. But yeah, we had him being one of 6 and his brother, my Uncle Jim, having 4 boys. And so it was a big extended family,
Yeah.
and so it was huge, and it was always like we had a gigantic smoker that my dad built, and he would always throw briskets and smoked bologna and all that stuff in there, and we usually had a huge feast, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and I know you and your dad are really, really close.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So I'm glad that he still gets to spend time with you every year though around Christmas time. I'm sure that's nice for him too. But-
Okay.
Yeah.
It might be.
No, I know he likes hanging out with you. Old Dean. Dean gonna do any? Is he get back on the horse? Is he barrel racing again?
Yeah, he's doing some barrel racing and stuff again. He can't really rope or anything because he doesn't have any fingers on his right hand.
I mean, yeah.
Between the hand grenade in
Sad.
70 and the dump truck in 07. so he can't really do anything there, but he still goes and gathers cattle with a lot of the local ranchers, and he hazes them out of the brush so the younger guys that are with him can rope them.
Yeah.
And he always has a story to tell when he gets back home. And he had a pretty hard wreck at Baker Spain June last year, so a year ago, so like a year and a half ago now.
Yeah.
And it took him a while to recover from that because he had some broke ribs and dislocated shoulder, and
Crazy.
stuff there. So, but yeah, he's back up and going again, and he's running times that you sure wouldn't expect a 75-year-old to run.
We need to get him back into the Snowy River race this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's about decided he's not going to do that because he doesn't. Well, if he could get on quick enough, he'd do it, but he doesn't think he can get on now. So,
well, maybe we could find a handicap of sorts.
Yeah.
After you're a certain age, you get to start mounted.
oh, don't
Yes,
tell
we
him
do.
that, please,
Or start 10 feet
I
back
get
or
Zane's
something.
dad to come back and run it with him.
Dad. No.
Maybe.
I was going to tell you, your dad met my grandson, Sam Standridge, at the wagon races this year.
Yeah.
We were at camp, and here comes Sam. He says, Papa, you got to meet this guy. Sambo, I know that guy.
Right. Yeah.
Well, he's got a pretty epic story where it was him and
Linda Bailey.
Linda Bailey, and
Yep.
they had run the same exact time down to the 100th of a second
Yep.
on 2 different days and ended up tying for a national championship.
They
and that
did. I remember it. I remember when they brought me the stopwatch, and I just thought, oh my gosh, I've never seen this happen.
Right.
It's never happened.
it's only in sports, like
It's
just
man.
the poetry of sports. Like anything that can happen will happen. And
Yeah.
I remember that, and
I'm pretty sure Rita brought me the stopwatch.
and I can't remember whether it was Dan or Peggy one, but said, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I said, I tell you what I think we need to do. We need to get 2 buckles, because if we flip a coin, we're going to get booed off of this mountaintop because one of them's going to lose.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the year that Linda hit the ditch too,
Yes.
and it like knocked her out, and then she ended up getting back on her horse, so she
Yes.
wouldn't get in the ambulance?
Right.
Yeah. She finished
Yes,
the
we would have
race.
been booed. You were
Yeah.
exactly right. They would have never come
And
back.
they got 2 buckles. Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, that was
Which I
That was
think
a
is
deal.
awesome because that buckle now is the only one out there with a match.
Absolutely.
And I really think that's cool.
That was a fun year.
oh man. Well, talking about traditions, I've had a tradition for about the last I don't know, 13, 14, 15 years where about this time every year I drive to Clinton, Arkansas, and I deliver a box full of DVDs. And it's kind of weird how some traditions kind of come about, but it really is it's like a nostalgic thing for me at this point. I get in the truck or the car or whatever, and I put the DVDs in there and I make the journey, and I turn on music in the car and stuff like that. This year I was a little bit more thinking about what we were going to do on this podcast today, but still, that's been kind of a neat thing every year coming down into Clinton, and it's become a part of what I do. And,
He even helped stuff the envelopes this year.
yeah, and
I mean, he even helped us get them sent to the post
man,
office.
yeah.
Yeah.
it's Scrooge turned nice, I guess. Whenever
yeah,
you get
right.
to a certain point, you start to not take things for granted so much. Maybe that was whenever I started having kids. Not me, but my wife. But yeah, it's a cool tradition for me now, and I try not to take it for granted. I enjoy even the work part of it. It's something I cherish doing, is finishing up the DVD, bringing it down here. So small plug there. Go to chuckwagonraces.com and make sure you order your DVD, or just call Dapple or send her a Facebook message or the furniture store. After she put out the Facebook post today, a couple people called immediately and
Yeah,
went ahead and
absolutely.
ordered.
Yeah, they want them before we sell them all. And they're in the mail. We've taken them to the post office, so they're on their way.
So, Danny, we don't want to let you go too soon here, but what's this time of the year like around your house? I mean, you've got a bit of a family. Do you guys travel around for anything on Christmas, or does everybody come to you? What happens?
Everyone came to the house last Sunday, and we have a big crew. There's, I would say, somewhere between 45, maybe 50 people there. We have a few extras, boyfriends and girlfriends of the younger kids, and then we'll have just the family will get together here next Sunday. I think it is. I'm not sure about that, but
Kathy will tell you.
Yes.
Yeah.
She'll make sure you're there.
We're busy around the place. We run a bunch of yearlings, kind of like Oath does, and it's always doctoring and moving and weighing and selling and buying, and it's a busy time of the year.
Yeah.
They started a new tradition this year. It's going to be the Newland annual possum throwing.
The what?
Is this legal?
Yes.
Okay.
well,
This has got to be a good story.
I don't know where did he get it.
Well, Sam trapped it.
Sambo.
Sam
I'm gonna pull that way for you. There you go.
sets traps. He
Hey,
tries to
yeah.
catch coyotes and stuff, but he caught a possum and he wrapped it up. And what are we doing? We're two
Oh, here, sorry.
down.
I just want to hear you.
Down.
Down. How about that?
And see ya.
I guess-
He trapped a possum and he wrapped it up and gave it to one of his nephews. And so when his nephew was unwrapping the package, the possum comes out and
No way.
Oh,
Sam
alive.
throws it at one of his cousins.
It was alive.
Yeah, it was alive.
His sweet little, beautiful 16-year-old cheerleader cousin.
Yeah. And they got a picture of the possum coming through the air like this right here.
amazing.
You'd have to see the picture really to
Oh my
appreciate it.
gosh, that's incredible.
It's amazing.
He-
It needs to be yearly.
Yeah.
Different critter every year. The Newland annual critter throw.
So he literally gift wrapped a
He
possum.
did. You have to know Sam.
I guess so.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
The perfect swaddle. Incredible.
Brilliant.
Wow. I know some people in my family that would not find that funny at all. So that's good.
Oh no, we'd love it. Yeah, yeah.
What's Christmas without a
Yeah.
fight?
Oh yeah. The annual possum swaddling.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Oh man.
So, couple race questions here. What was your biggest surprise from the 2024 races?
Oh, man. Biggest surprise. Oh, man, I wish I had some time to think about that.
I think my biggest surprise was the dog count.
Oh,
Yeah.
by far.
Oh man, I
How many
completely
dogs
about
we
that.
had.
I completely forgot about that.
I was way off. We had an over-under bet on it, and I didn't even get close to it.
What was that again? Was
Oh,
it?
it was.
like
I
a-
don't even remember, but it was.
1175.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was a substantial amount of dogs.
I think people want. So we were at
Wow.
the Gold Buckle dinner on Sunday, and you've got Dan Oaf going around with a pocket full of dollar bills, taking bets, and I'm like, what the heck is he doing?
and how do
then-
I get in?
Yeah, and then and you know, and all the veterans are getting hit up by him immediately because these are the guys that are really excited about it because this is what they do. I guess they have coffee and then they bet on things. That I'm sure it's all legal gambling, especially when it's like for $1.
Yeah,
and
$1.
And I think that the bids were like a couple hundred, and then it kind of starts spreading around the room that like, oh no, it's way more than that. And then people are getting worked up and they're like, oh yeah, I think that, yeah, maybe like 400, 600. And then pretty soon we're over 1,000 on the weekend, which I don't know if you ever announced. Did you announce that on the stand? Yeah.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
He did.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it was more, but yeah, almost 1,200 dogs. And you wonder why there's some left over when people go home sometimes.
Yeah, there's a lot of dogs.
Wow.
Dapple, any thoughts on maybe your biggest surprise from 2024?
Well, mine was the dog thing.
I got that.
Okay.
You want me to give that one to him and come up with a new
Well,
one?
I think he might need it.
Oh, I don't know.
I think about the races, and I think about, we kind of went into this year with this buckboard focus for the
I was just thinking that,
documentaries.
and there wasn't a runoff, was there?
There was a runoff,
was a
but there
runoff.
wasn't a runoff in the classic
In the
this
classic.
year.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if I was surprised or not, but like the track times were so fast, and I don't know if Danny says it every year, but he did say on the microphone, this may be the fastest year that we've ever had because the track is fast, the track is hard, it's dry.
Yeah.
And sure enough, in the classic, we had Andrea Fralix come out running B&B Farms race team, while Gerald Burkhalter had moved over to fill in for his wife on the buckboard. And lo and behold, she runs a track record on day one.
Yeah.
And right behind that, you have Pink Poodle, who breaks the track record, but they didn't have a qualified time, and but they would not have been within a second. I guess that's accurate. So, yeah, that would be right, because it was the next day that Pink Poodle comes out, no qualified time, but they ran another time that was a 56.5.
Yeah.
Would have been ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever even seen an outrider make it around the track fast enough to get that one. I'm sure we have, but
I don't know about that.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, but
It was fast.
I was still, I don't know, because of how fast he ran, I wasn't taking any bets off the table because even with a little bit of rain, I thought maybe he still gets out there and gets within a second. So I was, I was excited for Sunday, but I mean, it really rained. I mean, it really rained.
It did. Yeah, we had to delay
Yep.
2 hours, I think.
Was it 2?
An hour.
It was an
Was
hour.
it an hour?
Started at 2,
at 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we
how
didn't
many
even.
times have you seen that happen?
Once or twice, maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking
Yeah.
I can't remember, but one other time that
I
we
think twice.
In 39 times, once or twice.
that
Yeah.
we had to actually push back or cancel a day. I think one time we had to cancel a day.
Oh,
when it got
wow.
in, which was hard.
Yeah.
But you can only do what you can do.
Right, to
And
put
it
that into
was-
perspective.
Yes.
Wow.
To put that into perspective, it was 2020 when you just you cut off the Oklahoma land rush portion of the track and you just ran the backstretch, right? Is that right?
Remember that?
No,
I can't,
because the infield got so full that I think you guys had to modify something. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not remembering that right.
I know one year the infield got so deep underwater, I thought there was no way we would have the
It got out
wagon
past
race.
that tree.
Yeah, no way.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was terrible.
And it quit raining, and it went down, and we ran. And the water gets out of there pretty fast.
Yeah, whenever
Yeah.
it stops. Well, even that morning, Sunday morning before the races this year, before the delay, we did a whole show and everything, and it wasn't even raining yet. I mean,
No.
we were still like,
Yeah.
hey, I still think that this and this and this could happen, and yeah, the rain's coming, but
Yeah, when's it going to get here?
yeah,
Right.
and it was literally like, it was probably noon that we really started to figure out that, okay, it's going to slow stuff down.
Yeah.
It did.
And it did, but
Hey, there's always next year.
you know who did run the fastest time that day, and it was the Big Mules. The Big Mules actually, they had the best qualified time came out of the Big Mules from Desperados #2, I think, and they
On Sunday?
and they
I
yep
didn't know that.
yeah, because nobody could get an outrider, and yeah, and I think that like going into it, I think it was like a 46, 47 or something like that was holding it, and then they run, or am I thinking right? Is it like the low 40s, like 40s?
I told you we take our wagon race hats off in November and December.
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Yeah,
I'd have
but-
to go back and
But
look.
I would think a wet track would affect the big mules less than any
The
other
least.
Yeah.
division.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a little bit of footing
agree.
going up the hill, actually. Yeah. You're right. Well, so I was going to ask, you guys both kind of you witnessed the Chuck and Buck this year. It's like the chance that you guys get to actually sit back and relax and watch the show. How'd you guys feel about the Chuck and Buck this year?
I thought it was great.
Yeah, I love it.
I think it's awesome. I think the idea was awesome, and I think the people behind it is. I mean, you got a classy crew there.
Yeah.
You talk about
And they care about production.
yes.
Oh,
They
yeah.
want it to be a show. They don't just want to ride bulls.
Yeah.
Right.
They want it to be a show. And that's worth a lot.
And,
you
and they know a production.
They know a production. Yes, they're a part of big one.
Right.
Big
Well,
productions.
Yes, and they came back with I think twice as many riders this year. It was like, wasn't it like 10 or 12 the first year?
I know we added some.
Yeah, it looked like. I mean, I feel like there were like 20 guys out there riding this year, and that was cool. Cool little story, little story with Brandon Roper that had gotten back in from the Monday night bulls.
Second year in a row.
Yeah, second year in a row. That was kind of cool to see him get a little bit of a redemption story because he got
Yes.
tossed off his bull last year and that Chuck and Buck, and he got to come back and he rode one and got a time, and so that's a cool piece that's on the DVD and also in the docuseries coming out here pretty shortly. Yeah, speaking of, lots of good stuff coming up. Season 2 will be coming out here just after the holidays, and Season 1 should be on Cowboy Channel potentially as soon as December 30th. So that's a couple weeks away. So
Didn't know that.
yeah, and I just found that out.
Unfolded. Yeah.
Just found that out today. They because I was like, hey, how soon do you guys need some of this stuff to get this on the air? And I'd like to have a deadline because it's so busy this time of the year. And they're like, Well, if we get it approved, we're looking at like December 30th, and it'll be every night at 6:30 p.m. So mark your calendars.
Oh, wow.
I will confirm that here, and I'm sure you'll see it on Facebook and stuff like that.
Yes, we will definitely keep everybody updated.
Yeah, when we know that that's going to happen, we'll put it out there. But that's the rumor right now that you can start spreading around. So
That's exciting.
So Danny, before we let you go here, anything that you'd like to say pertaining to the holidays?
Maybe not so much about the holidays, but this coming race, I know I got to looking the other day, and this whole thing is going to be ran in the month of August this year.
Yes.
And
All in August.
Oh.
The gate's going to open around the middle of August, around the 15th or 16th or something.
Yes, it's early. It's
So
early this year.
It's early.
Oh, wow.
I don't think there's a day in September.
No, there's not, because September comes in on
Monday.
Monday's the
first.
first.
And the wagon race ends on Sunday, so I mean everybody better get on board here and
It'll be hot.
Yeah, be ready.
better be ready.
I did not
It'll be here
realize
before
that.
you know it.
I feel like the fever of the summer always breaks either like during that week a little bit or it's shortly afterward. That's like the corner towards fall. Whether the weather really does change or not, for me, that's always when I turn the corner. I'm like, okay, now it's a different
it's fall.
season.
Yeah.
Middle of August, I wouldn't look for that to happen.
Yeah.
No, probably not.
we
This
could-
may be a hot one.
Yeah, we might
That'd be
set
okay.
some more records this year.
You know, I keep saying we're due one. We've
Yeah.
been so blessed with
We have.
weather, and
Yeah.
so we're due a hot one.
We are.
Oh, why you got to wish that evil on?
I'm not wishing it. I'm just
It's
prepared.
reverse
You know,
psychology.
You're
they say, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. We just all need to be ready.
Well, this was part of my little Christmas present to you guys today to get Danny on here. Nobody knew Danny was coming on until he walked through the door, which just so happened to be when the show was starting. But Danny, thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much.
you.
Thank you for being here.
Glad to do it.
And Merry Christmas to you and yours,
Merry
man.
Yeah, safe trip home.
See you at the ball game.
Thanks, sir.
Okay. Yep. We'll be there.
Yep.
You can just take that as a roadie.
Yeah.
Right on. Hey, speaking of Christmas,
I got like a rogue hair.
Oh my
I
gosh.
brought you guys gifts.
Look at that.
The latest in the Chuckwagon Channel merchandise.
I love it.
As a matter of fact,
And it's almost the same colors as our school colors. We're black and gold.
Oh, really?
I can
Oh,
wear this
really?
to ball games.
yeah, you could totally wear. You should
I'll
absolutely
totally
wear that.
rep this at the ball
Yeah,
games.
just take a selfie and put it on social media.
I will.
Let people know.
I will do that.
But yeah, a little something for you guys from me. Merry Christmas.
Did you not know he was coming, really?
No, I knew he was coming. I invited
you
him.
knew he was coming.
Yes,
Ah.
Yeah,
What a deal.
he was just coming in to get his afternoon beer.
Well, I was like, maybe.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Dapple. I wasn't thinking any other word.
And
No.
I kept
He just took his
I
wife.
didn't know what the show was rated.
Yeah. No, he took his wife to a dental appointment, and
Yeah.
he was like, "We got to go get a beer right now." on the way
Absolutely.
home."
I've had a long day. He's been in Little Rock. I'm sure it was crazy.
Yeah. No,
That
we
is so funny.
we weren't sure coming into today if he was going to make it because of timing, but
What a fun surprise.
yeah. So it was good to have Danny on one of these.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Love
Oh,
that
he's
guy.
always amazing. Yes.
So I really want to get Dave in here for Hogs and Heifers,
Yeah.
and I see him kind of
Eyeballing us.
running around.
Where'd he go?
But Dave.
Put batteries in something.
Dave's been pretty awesome. Dave has also outfitted us with all the food we could eat prior to having the podcast today. Sorry, Dapple didn't invite you before the show,
Yeah. Jeez.
but
I thought they were closed.
he is he's taking care of us on drinks and everything. He's super hospitable. Just really a good guy. I want to get him in here. Hey, Dave, are you ready?
Your interview
We're gonna put him on the show.
for your close-up.
I don't know if he really knew what he was getting into by having us in here today.
I like to hide behind mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of like this.
I don't even care, honestly. On
I
a
look like Wilson off of Home Improvement.
yeah.
Just a hat. I'll just have a hat
Just
sticking in.
floating eyeballs.
for all you
Yeah.
youngsters out
Hanging
there.
on nose.
Hey.
Hey, this is a Christmas
This-
special.
This is Jingle Juice, not Jungle Juice. Jingle Juice.
Jingle
I'll
juice.
be.
Okay.
Okay, so Dave, we're gonna get you in on the whole thing here. You can put those headphones on if it works.
Is that going to be long enough to reach over there?
I think so.
I don't know. I got a ginormous head.
One size fits all.
Oh yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Is that coming in? Can you hear us pretty good? Mm-hmm. Cool. So you'll be able to hear yourself. The best thing about the headphones is you can hear yourself.
That's
So when you're not talking into the mic, you know it.
That didn't work.
I tell you what, why don't you do
That was
the
a
same?
horrible idea.
Do the same thing. That thing's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick this thing up and pull all the slack you can get, and we'll put it
Yeah.
underneath.
Y'all keep saying that thing's heavy like I haven't picked them up 3 times already.
How's that? Is that enough
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Cool. All right, cool.
This tastes like
Yeah.
a pink Starburst.
It is. I don't know what's in it.
This is
Yeah.
a shot. This is
He
a
said I
shot,
don't know
right?
what's in it.
Don't be afraid to slide that mic to you. Also,
I don't
'cause-
know.
Yeah, it'll pick you up pretty good if you're in front of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So what goes into the jingle juice again?
Love.
Love. Good. Good.
That's
And
I wish-
Christmas spirit.
I wish all nutrition facts were just like
Says good.
just
Yeah.
words like that, like
Yeah.
thumbs up.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I can give it to my kids. Here you go.
Cheers.
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 Hey, Merry Christmas, guys.
Thank you.
Christmas.
Merry
Good to have everybody on
Christmas.
here.
Thank
No
you for
pressure.
coming.
No pressure. Oh man, I feel like we should. We'll just do another one in a little bit.
Yep.
To who?
Everybody.
The world.
Dapple, I nominate you for a toast in a little bit for the next one.
Oh,
So, Dave,
that is good. It does taste like a pink Starburst, though.
I
Kind of.
think it's got pineapple and orange juice and
taste the pineapple
Yeah.
and the
Yeah, I
orange juice.
taste,
Yeah.
I taste the pineapple.
some rum.
okay.
So, Dave, thank you, first of all, for sponsoring the show not once, but twice now
thank
that
you.
we've been in Clinton. And, I harp on and on about these things. Last name Harp.
Nice.
Yeah. But, but you guys really have great service here. I mean, when we walked in today, we were just trying to look for a place to maybe set up for the podcast. And every single person that works here came over to us and tried to seat us as quickly as they just thought we were having a problem. And so everybody was trying to take care of us.
Yeah.
So staff is awesome. The food is fantastic. Everything that I've had here has been really good. I had the jam burger the first time I was
Jam
here.
good. Mm-hmm.
And it was, whew, and then I recommended it.
Yeah.
To Andy
That's what I
today.
had today. That thing is amazing.
Yeah, he was
Fantastic.
halfway through it, and he was like, "This is damn good,
Jam good.
damn good."
Jam good.
Yeah, that's a good burger. But you guys have a lot of different kinds of food. I'm curious to know what inspired you to have this restaurant.
We retired, and then Tanya said, I want to open a restaurant or bar in my hometown. And I was like, sure. So basically, we bought this building a few years ago and then gutted it. It was a GMC dealership back in 1936.
Oh, wow.
And so we left all the original rock and used all the boards from the flooring for the tables and for the walls. So tried to keep it all as much as we could original.
Man,
Yeah.
that's so cool. I think it's cool that there's always a story behind these places too. But what made you kind of feel like, hey, we're going to do this in downtown Clinton? You know,
There's not very much here in the way of a bar where you can go sit and have a drink, have a steak, watch some sports. And so we figured, what the heck, let's do it. And so I put on all the TVs, and she's like, why so many TVs? I'm like, sports. Yeah, because I can put every game on.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
no, we downtown, we wanted to make downtown grow. We wanted to help it to establish a foothold, and nobody had jumped off yet to doing it. And so what the heck?
Yeah. Well, it's so much easier said than done on stuff like this because you think, oh, well, I'm going to have a bar and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But there really is there's a well-roundedness that you need to hit to make a place that people want to keep coming back to. And I think you guys have done that. And you look at like the checklist of like good atmosphere, good service, good pricing.
Good food.
The food's great.
Absolutely.
And then the story to boot, and
Right.
so you guys are always in here. You're always in here as a part of it. You didn't just build it as like, hey, I want to have another revenue stream. You guys are in here actively working this thing every day.
Correct.
And very visible in the community. You know, you're always seeing them somewhere, even if it's just even on Facebook. You know, you see it, they're very noticeable, visible. They want to make sure people are happy, and it's obvious that that's what they want. If anybody's ever unhappy, they've always tried to make it right. And,
Correct.
you know, and you do a good job with that.
Well,
because
thank you.
Your
Yeah.
patience is,
Yeah, no, you guys
know,
above and beyond.
It's hard to make everybody happy, but they really do try.
Yeah. Well, we came in
And
and
the food's delicious.
we came in one of the first nights of the championship chuck wagon race week this year and just struck up a conversation. It was love at first sight, basically.
Absolutely.
And very quickly, it was like, what can we do to work together? And then, and then he's handed me some merch and stuff like that. It says, yeah, we'd love to sponsor the thing, and they fed us and took care of us. And oh gosh, they even I tried to talk about signs, you know, like, and immediately it was like, yeah, give me signs. What do you got? And then it was like another gal that works here, Christy, or what was her name?
Crystal Snowden. She has a salon here in town. She put a sign up in front of her business.
Yeah, and you guys helped us out there too.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. Yeah, and I saw
we
it like the
appreciate it.
next day. It was hanging right there, right before you turn into the
Right,
races.
yeah, that's just right as you go into the ranch.
Right.
Yeah, no, you guys are great. Thank you so much. And yeah, so talk a little bit about what when people come here to eat and have a drink, you know, what can they expect?
Customer service is one of our big sticking points. We want everybody to feel welcome, and so when you walk in, you will get greeted by several people. Hey, can we get you anything? We try to work as a team. It's one big family. We fuss and fight, but we have a good time and try to take care of everybody. So we retired, and this is now more work than we've ever done. The bar
yeah.
and restaurant.
And they're here all the time.
That's about how that works.
Absolutely. You think,
Yeah.
oh, it's going to be easy. No.
No.
No,
Did you,
they're all the time.
Had you worked in the food industry prior to opening the restaurant?
I had not. I had waited tables when I was in school, and done that, and so had Tanya, and so we're like, let's just try something different.
Yeah.
And we've always wanted to have a bar, and so here we go.
Well, like a small startup restaurant is part of my story as to how I got involved with chuck wagon racing at all. And a little pizza company in Reed Spring, Missouri, the gal that had started it, I literally met her like in my senior year of high school. Nothing ever was downtown. Very much like this, actually, as far as like there was no bar and grill or anything like that. But she opens this little pizza company, and I'm like, hey, I've worked at a couple other pizza places here locally, so I can bring some experience to the table. And I'd love to deliver. Mostly I'd like to deliver because there's good tips. And they're like, yeah, you can come in and show us how to do delivery and stuff. To this day, I don't think that they have delivery. I just immediately became part of their team and cooked and stuff. And pretty soon, she asked me to come and shoot chuck wagon races with her because she had been doing that. But that's how I got involved with chuck wagon racing. But it was really cool to become part of a startup team with a startup restaurant, and to see it flourish too, because they were doing all the things right that I think you kind of need to do to make something like this work, especially in a small town.
Right.
And so, I relate a lot to what you guys are doing here, and the hard work part of it is so. There's so much more work that goes into something like this than people know, and so when I see something like this working, I just have all the more respect for the people that are putting it on. So kudos to you guys and what you're doing.
Appreciate that.
Especially because, like, man, what's your cable bill running around here? Because you got all these TVs.
I'm putting somebody through college.
It's pretty awesome. I can pretty well. I guess I would expect that if there's a game on, I can come down here and catch it. So
100%.
So for those of you that need to cancel whatever subscription you have at home, do that and come down here and watch the game. That's a good place to do it. 44 TVs inside and another handful of TVs out on the patio when the weather's right. I wanted to ask you, what's one of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome in starting a restaurant?
I think one of the biggest challenges is some of the negativity that has come in, that your prices are too high, or you took too long to get your food. I'm like, we're a new restaurant. It's just 7 months in, and we try to be patient, and we don't go back online and argue with people. Everybody has an opinion. We appreciate what you say.
One time.
Yeah, of course. She argued for us. It was fantastic.
I did one time.
And so that was one of the biggest hurdles is just putting that anger aside for, you're like, look, we're trying to do something good, let's all enjoy and relax. So that was it. And then finding out what people like in this area. We started with several things that we've taken off the menu because they just weren't selling it with stuff that we had liked. And we brought a lot of our menu items from us traveling. We found this in Florida, or we found this in Canada. And so we brought those back with us because we enjoyed eating it. And so we wanted to provide that. And now we're doing steaks, which has been a huge, huge success for us. We just started that a couple weeks ago, and so we're pleased with that. But
That's awesome.
yeah, it's really fun though.
Yeah, and you love it when steaks work out because
Oh yeah,
it brings in a good client typically.
Absolutely.
If they expect that they're going to get a steak. So, but then it's also a little bit harder to deal with them if you don't get their steak right too, right?
Yes.
It's a A lot harder to mess up my chicken wrap.
Right.
I
real.
love the chicken
Right.
wraps.
So what can we get excited about for 2025 as you guys get into your second year of business?
We're starting to attract more traffic coming up and down 65 from Branson and the areas back and forth. They see our billboard or they'll stop in and say, hey, I didn't know you were here.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. We're going to start having more clubs come, like have a motorcycle club and Jeep clubs, and
Okay.
we're already starting to do some of that. We've hosted several football teams that have come through. When they're coming by, they stop, Harrison and Clinton, and they all stop and eat with us, and so we feed the team, and we enjoy doing that, and we're looking forward to just having fun.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
They have a lot of good bands.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can catch
Oh,
a good band
yeah.
here.
Live music.
A lot of live music.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday nights mostly we have live music. It's gotten colder, so we're bringing them inside. We've got 2 great bands this weekend, and so it's going to be fun.
That's awesome, man. Well, we really appreciate the hospitality. We appreciate you letting us set up.
No, absolutely.
In here, I know you guys have a Christmas party tonight, which I'm
Yeah.
sure is going to be a blast. And it sounds like you guys are you're living the dream. I know it's always a little bit humbling to do something like this, but I truly think that like something like this, the hard work pays off, and the memories that you make are priceless. So
Absolutely.
congrats. It looks like a huge success to me. So
Thank you very much.
We're loving it, man. And
We appreciate everybody in the community for coming out and supporting us.
we'll be bugging you when we come back around for the races again this
We'll
year.
see you again.
Yeah.
Right on, man. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, brother.
All right. So that's Dave Harp. And Dave Harp and Tanya, they've got a really, really good thing down here. Hogs and Heifers. Davis, when you leave, man, you got to go.
Oh, you just have to leave? I'm like, what's the...
I am out.
I don't know the etiquette.
But feel free to bring another round of anything.
Oh gosh.
Did you choke that down?
Huh?
You get one of those down?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Did we break the seal?
No.
How's the back feeling?
Not great.
Yeah. So
Your back's hurting?
Yeah, we were loading.
We were loading in, and I made a bad move.
Yeah, he like turned around.
Yeah.
And instantly back was hurt. And I told him, I was like, I can totally relate to that, because like at the West Kentucky race that I was at, I like went and sat down in my truck for 5 minutes before the races started, and I think just like giving my body a second to sit down or whatever was just enough.
Everything just went...
Yeah, and then I like went to step down out of my truck, and I was like, oh.
You know, that wouldn't have happened in 2006.
I know it. Yeah. You know, I seriously considered going back and digging up a bunch of like old footage from
Don't.
from like your from the interviews that we did with you early on. It's so funny. And there were like back when we were in like our high school, college days, there was a lot of influence from like weird like I don't know, Jersey Shore type stuff. And,
Yeah. The
and
makeup choices were terrible. You remember I had like a big like black shirt
Yeah.
that you could like see through the sleeves, and it had rhinestones all over it.
yeah. Yep. I remember that.
Good times.
Yeah, that was so funny. And
Good times.
and then you still did everything like off the cuff though too. And you were really in your element too. You'd talk and you'd rehearse it. And what was your major, like communications or
Yes.
yeah.
And public relations.
Yeah, in public relationships. So she was like ready for this, and I'd be like, okay, we got to talk about this, this, and this, and she's like, okay, let me run through it, and she'd like say it out loud, say like little pieces of it, and then we'd fill it in a little bit. She'd take it a couple of times, and then she'd just nail it. I actually thought you were really, really good at it, and those were all the intros to the DVD, especially. In that year, it was the Hoopla DVD, if I'm remembering right. Maybe. Is that
Maybe.
right?
I can't remember.
Because
I know I had like way more confidence than I should have had. I was
Yeah.
just really like
that young
thriving.
confidence.
Yeah, I was 19 or 20 years old, and nothing scared me, and now everything terrifies me. Camera turns on, and I'm like, just call me on the phone.
Yeah.
Please call me on the phone.
And there was a great one where you were like coming out of the saloon doors,
Yeah.
popping out of the saloon doors to
I
talk.
think that was your baby. I think you created that.
Yeah. Well, I just call them like I see them. This would look great, Dapple.
Yeah. Yeah, do this. You had me walk down the Big Mule Hill.
Oh,
now
yeah.
I would be like,
Well,
no.
Now, when we did that, that was, if not
The year they put gravel
it was
on
the
it.
year they put gravel
Oh
on it.
no.
They.
Yeah, Dan.
Yeah.
Dan.
Yeah.
Dano.
Yeah, he's like, what else can we do?
Yeah, what can we do?
Got things stirred up a little bit. And you know what? Like most of his ideas, good addition. It was fun.
It worked. It worked fine.
So looking at next year, what are we thinking about in 2025? Is there anything new coming in? Anything
Well, we're
different?
having the bullfighters competition. We're doing that for sure. And then Whitney DeSalvo is having a pasture breakaway roping, which is going to be a huge addition, I think.
That will be.
I think that's going to be really, she's so big in the roping world anyways, and she's just raised up the road here.
Yes.
So we're really excited about that addition.
Yeah, there's
My dad's trying to dream up a horse and dog race where, a lot of these dogs follow their owners while they're riding their horses, and they go work cattle with them, and they're voice commanded and things. So he
okay.
wants to try to figure out some way to showcase all these dogs since we had so many. That's kind of like a little baby idea that we're working on. But,
Interesting.
we're just, it kind of gets hard to come up with new stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
Either somebody else is doing it,
So much
you don't
going
want to, you don't want to duplicate, because so many of the people that come to all these wagon races come to all these wagon races. So you don't want to overlap the same concerts and all of the same events, because
Right.
the people that come to all of them, they really deserve to have something new and different at each one of them.
right.
So, some of the things, it's an overlap that's good, like the pasture roping, that's a classic. Everybody's going to enjoy that. But
Yeah.
it's hard. It gets hard every year to come up with something that's new that somebody else isn't already doing,
Yeah,
or that we
well-
haven't already done and failed at. We thought that relay race was going to be really good this year, and it was terrible. They wrecked immediately. And the single horse, the Pony Express race that we had this year, y'all weren't there for that? I don't guess. Y'all might have been.
Wait a minute.
You might have been doing your podcast show at the time of that.
I think we were. I think we were. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we
In
were.
the arena?
No, it was on the track, and it was terrible.
No. Yeah, yes, we were.
And it was terrible.
Yeah,
So,
and that was right when the rain started.
It was terrible. And it was
Yeah.
just one of those things that it didn't pan out. So, we've
Yes.
had a lot of those. We had a hay raking contest one year that did not pan out. We used to have wild goat milking, and we'd gather goats, and,
Yeah.
so a lot of trial and error, I guess.
Well, I think that the DeSalvo roping deal.
I think it's going to be big. I think it's going to be great.
Well, and another thing is like when you can bring an event in that brings another crowd or brings more of another crowd, that's a really good thing too. And
Yeah.
and so I could see that being highly successful, and it will bring more publicity to the event as well.
She ropes in our pasture roping.
Right.
So she's there, and she's been a part of it since she was, a kid.
Yeah, no, I think it's
Out
cool.
doing great things in the world now, but
I think it's what I love about it is it's kind of like a copy paste or a template copy paste a little bit from like the Chuck and Buck, right? You've got
Absolutely.
you've got somebody that understands the event, the National Championship Chuck Wagon races, and then they can kind of bring what they've become a professional in and do that, and they know how to kind of curb that into what the races already are. So I love that, and it's the 40th year.
it
It's
is.
gonna
I know
be-
that's so much pressure.
Yeah,
Are we gonna have a fireworks show or something? I don't know. It's just
Oh, that would
definitely.
I can imagine that. Nothing could
I know.
possibly go wrong
my
with
dad
fireworks.
said we'd have to take him up to the cabin and shoot him off, and everybody watch him from the
know.
ranch. He's like, it'd have to be from a distance.
Right.
Just got
It'd be a fireworks show and a horse gathering.
Yeah, you need to do it like right after the big mules because that's when everybody's already desensitized to all the
Yeah, all the fireworks. Oh, the fireworks.
Well, I think I'm excited for the 40th year, and
I think it'll be great.
and I think so. Golly, I think back to like we did a big old thing in 2020. Oh, what was it? Well, it was the 25th anniversary, so whatever 15 years ago was, and that was when I guess Flavie was still a part of it, and when she was still doing the DVD. And that year we bit off so much stuff for the DVD. That was the hoopla year.
Yes, I remember.
And-
Which I loved the hoopla year.
The hoopla thing was fun. It was also a lot. Like it was a lot of extra work. But
I bet it was. Yeah.
But we did the hoopla DVD. We did like a documentary DVD, and then we had like the standard DVD, the
Regular
race
DVD.
DVD. And so
Wow.
you talk about
It was
like
a lot.
an insane amount of like
Yeah, because y'all
shooting.
pulled old footage too that Flavie had from,
Yeah.
and even some stuff that my mom had. They pieced together a lot of stuff. So
Yes.
It was a big project.
And I think I'm trying to remember. I think I sampled some from that documentary in the first season of the Great Wagon Race here, which that's another place that I start thinking about like what we're going to do next year, with it being the 40th year, with that being, fingers crossed, a season 3 for.
I hope so.
For that show, and right now, in my head, I feel like we need to do another division, or we need to focus on another division, which maybe the low-hanging fruit there is like the big mules.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
But
There's a lot of competitive.
There is
a lot of competition.
Yeah,
in
it
the
really
mules,
is.
Very
you know.
much.
oh,
I do.
time out.
Oh my! Another
Time out.
Christmas special, guys.
Yes,
Goodness gravy.
this is what Christmas is all about.
This is just hot chocolate, right?
Yes.
Sure, set it down there.
Thanks for not signing
It's
anything
like
before this.
Public peer pressure.
Okay.
So what is this called?
That's just a buttery nipple.
Oh, okay.
This is a buttery nipple and toast by Dapple.
I don't have one. Not when I'm drinking a buttery nipple. Guys.
Well, I think I have one.
Okay, perfect. David has one.
To Danny Newland.
To Danny Newland.
Cheers.
Perfect.
Delicious.
Whew. Ugh.
Oh, that was all there.
Yeah, she was.
That was good.
I have to have my mom come get me. She's going to be so mad because we're like
Oh.
swamped at the store. Be like, I'm down here at the podcast having a great time.
Hey, this has been on the schedule for a while.
It's been on the schedule for a long while. It has. We knew what we were getting into.
We did move it back a day, but other than that,
yeah. So that's
but-
ball games. That's my kid's fault.
but no, I think that I could see us doing a focus on outriders.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
like hardcore, and
Oh, don't tell Zane that. He's going to have to get his outriding britches back on.
yeah, I think he should. I think, I think maybe it'll spur. I think that
I
there's,
remember those days.
I do too.
I think that the outrider story is kind of like one that needs to be told because
Oh, it definitely does.
it has such an effect on the race. I mean, it makes or breaks
Yeah.
every team that's successful,
Yep.
in all these races. And so, you look at, you look at the Pink Poodle this year. They go out there and they ran a time that would have blown everybody off the track. And sure enough, they, you can't get it. And they even thought, we've got the guy. I think.
yeah, I mean, we all thought they had the guy.
Yeah, I guess we'll talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, Cody.
Yeah, Cody Bean. Didn't get it done, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
But it's also not as easy as people think. It's like
It's not.
Danny Newland gets on the mic and he gives people a lot of crap. He's like, oh, they're going to go back to the camp tonight and have a talk, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, man, if
It's
you
tough.
just
It's a
saw,
tough spot.
you just see what's going on at that starting
Well, and
line.
especially even not at the starting line, but even if you have a good outrider that's there's some scary spots. If you don't know if you don't know how to navigate them, then your horse is gonna. I would think. I've never done it. It's easy to talk about it sitting up there on the rock, but I would think your horse is gonna pull back. You're gonna have to go to the outside, change.
Right.
If you're not in the right place from the get go to the end, it's tough.
Yeah.
I mean,
Even a
it's-
horse is like, what the hell are we doing?
What are we doing here?
This is dumb.
Yeah. Whoa, Dad.
This is dangerous. Why are we doing
This
this?
doesn't seem smart.
Yeah.
hence classics this year.
Yeah.
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 It's
But I think it'd be
a
fun.
tough spot.
I think that there's a lot of like different elements to the whole thing. I think that you've got your adrenaline junkie, your hardcore sportsman, your athlete. You've got the emotional side of it, where it's like it's a huge high when you get it right, and it's a huge low. It's very disappointing when you don't succeed, and like your whole team is counting on you. So I think the Outrider would be a really cool story to go a lot more in depth on this year, and we've gone in depth on it on the DVD before, but I think maybe that was even just a little bit more like sports highlights and humor. I think,
mean, and there's even a lot of good outriders that are since retired that have a story that I can think of a lot of them. That Kyle Fuller, he used to outride all the time. He was a great outrider. Zane, he was a good outrider. But even all the way back to James Reed, he outrode and they won. Which, it was 1996, but he was the outrider. Mike Cullum, he was an outrider.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of
Opie.
Opie.
Of course,
and
you
Ben
can't talk about outriders
No,
without talking about Opie.
speaking
Can't
of Mike
Ben
Cullum,
Hartwick.
Oh yeah, Ben Hartwick especially. Yeah.
Yeah, you just think about him.
Speaking of
Austin Dotson.
some of these guys, with it being the 40th year, do you think there will be some teams that kind of come out of the woodwork for year 40?
I think that it would be very interesting to even maybe entertain an exhibition run, if it wasn't necessarily.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
If there were some teams that might want to come out of retirement. This is the first time I've thought of that or spoken it out loud. So
I feel
let me call my mom really quick.
Yeah,
No.
I think I feel what you're throwing down there.
Yeah, but that might be something that would be really interesting, even if it was just an exhibition run.
I love it. Keep talking.
For some of these retired, or even if the dynamics changed. Where does he keep going?
I don't know. Had to go reload.
Yeah. Is that Sprite?
I'm staying in Clinton tonight.
Well, I'm not, so stop handing me stuff.
Andy's out.
Oh, man. Okay, so I think I've got a working title here
Got a
for
working title
for
Okay.
year 40, the Champions Classic.
The Champions Classic.
Bring back these guys that
Oh.
have won or been up there.
Where are they going? Half of them have sold all their stuff, though.
So get some more stuff.
Borrow a wagon. Get
Yeah.
some stuff.
Trust me, that in the chuck wagon racing community, if you need something and you ask for it, you're going to find it.
I think it would be interesting. Might have to
Well,
revisit that when we're not in front of, people.
some of these competitors, I think, if you start just pushing just a little bit,
They'd come back.
I think we could get them to come back. I'd really, really love to see Cowbell come back.
Oh, yeah.
See
Oh,
them
yeah.
run.
That'd be a good show.
And I think that they'll do it. So that's exciting. 2025 is going to be a good year.
It is. I can't believe it's 2025.
I know it.
That's wild. That is wild.
So, speaking of 2025, when we get to the other side of the holidays here, we should have a show coming out on January 2nd, assuming nothing prevents that. And that will be our CWC Awards show, where we're going to actually present the winners of these different award categories, which I'll just read them off here. Best Spill of the Year, Entertainer of the Year, Venue of the Year, Interview of the Year, Heartwarming Moment, 2024's Most Improved, the Biggest Laugh
Hey,
of
I've
the
got
Year.
a joke prepared.
And Dapple thinks she could win Biggest Laugh.
I might should.
And the Youth Award.
Also me.
Also, the Youth Award. Okay.
Definitely. Yeah, sure, why not?
I'm not gonna joke back at you about that
About my age?
because I don't want to hurt your
me
feelings.
about my age. Everybody knows how long I've been around.
She never. Yeah, never mind. All right, so so you can find the form for the nomination form rather on the Facebook page, or you can just go to the description below this video, and that should be in there. So please go and nominate. I think we're actually going to cut it off around Christmas. I still would like to see more people jump in and make nominations. I feel like we haven't done a really good job of marketing it or promoting that as well as we should. So if you or anybody you know has not done that yet, please go and fill out the form. We would just love to hear from everybody and make that a yearly thing. Speaking of traditions, I think that the CWC Awards would be a really cool tradition to have every year. And who knows, maybe someday.
Yeah, who doesn't love a good superlative?
Yes. And someday maybe it grows into something. Maybe we, host an event around it or something. I mean, who knows? Well, it's been a really good day here. We're going to wrap it up here. And we've had a really good little Christmas show down here in Clinton.
Yeah, it's surprise guest Danny Newland. Who wouldn't love that?
Danny Newland showed up. We got to talk to Dave Harp for a while. We got to talk about Christmas just a little bit. I hope that the holidays are just filled with joy for you guys, and I hope that your families make lots of great memories. I hope that you dig all the way into those traditions that maybe you were on the fence about doing that tradition this year. I root you on to do it. And to everybody out there, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year, and we'll see you out on the track.
Thanks for listening to the CWC podcast.